Stage 3 Overview. Welcome to Learn IT to Teach Stage 3. The focus of this stage continues to be using and adapting the LINC courseware to the participants' teaching context. During Stage 3, course participants are introduced to best practices in blended and online course delivery and are encouraged to apply these as they learn new Moodle course editing and course management skills. There is also a task related to best practices in settlement language training. Here are some key numbers to pay attention to as you work to complete Stage 3. You must facilitate newcomers using the courseware for a minimum of 4 weeks. You must do at least 6 online activities and 1 online assessment task, which will be used as a PBLA artifact and added to the ePortfolio. Once participants start Stage 3, they have a maximum of 4 months to complete the training. Mentors and the online support desk are available to help with any question that might arise during the training. At the top of the course homepage, in the General section, participants can see a Moodle quiz named TESOL Ontario members, please answer this question. You should ignore this unless you are a TESOL Ontario member who is eligible for the Post-TESOL Certificate Training, PTCT, accreditation. Below the TESOL Ontario members quiz is the Course Announcements Forum. This is followed by a Stage 3 glossary to which the participants are most welcome to contribute. A general discussion forum follows where users can post their questions or helpful suggestions for mentors or other fellow participants. A Stage 2-3 exemplar course is also available with several activities and resources that teachers can add to their online courses as they progress through their training. Participants are then encouraged to share their previous experiences with the courseware by contributing to the fully online and blended learning reflective discussion forum. Throughout the Stage 3 course, participants may be asked to refer to Stage 2 content. This can be accessed in the Stage 2 course or in the Avenue Stage 2 support page on the portal. When participants are ready to start Stage 3, they should begin by exploring the Orientation Assessment Overview section. The first link in this section, the Course Goals, Learning Objectives, summarizes the learning outcomes of this training. The Stage 3 Overview video and the supporting document provide a general orientation to the course. One of the most important items in this section is the Stage 3 Assessment document, which is an interactive form with checklists and text boxes that participants use to verify that they have completed the assessment items in the course. After downloading it to their local computers, they should update and save this interactive Microsoft Word file as they work through the Stage 3 assessment tasks. At the end of the course, they must submit this form and either the template for designing blended or the template for designing a fully online language training lesson to their trainer. Participants in Stage 3 should review this form carefully once they start the training and refer back to it regularly. The blended learning and language training session in the course is optional. If instructors choose to skip this section, they must complete the next section, the fully online language training section, which we'll come to in a minute. The blended learning and language training section uses a video to explain best practices in blended learning that are also consistent with the design of the LINC courseware. This video is embedded in a Moodle quiz. There is also a reading, Blended Learning, Creating Learning Opportunities for Language Learners, which will interest course participants looking for a deeper understanding of this topic. This reading includes the template for designing blended learning, which course participants must use for one of their lessons during Stage 3, and submit with the completed Stage 3 assessment document. The fully online language training section is optional. If instructors choose to pass over this section, they must complete the last section, the Blended Learning and Language Training section. This section uses a video to explain how to get started in fully online language training. This video is embedded in a Moodle quiz. There is also a reading, The 10 Fundamentals of Teaching Online for Faculty and Instructors, that will interest course participants looking for a deeper understanding of this topic. This section includes the template for designing a fully online language training lesson, which course participants must use for one of their lessons during Stage 3 and submit with the completed Stage 3 assessment document. The course management section provides participants with information about using advanced features to manage the courseware. These include using reports, setting up and using completion tracking, using badges, using restrict access settings, and more. Teachers must use at least one of these features during their Stage 3 training. The Enhancing Courses Interactivity and Content with Blocks section provides instructors with information for using some of the Moodle blocks. Participants must add a minimum of 2 blocks to their course, one that enhances communication among course participants and another that makes the contents of their course homepage more dynamic. There are 7 help files in this section, which include a block's overview document and support for various blocks, such as comments, remote RSS feeds, and the HTML blocks. The Blending Learning by Adding Resources section recycles the participants' course editing skills learned in Stage 2. The Stage 3 training requires participants to add new content to their courseware using most of the same resource modules they used in Stage 2, including File, Folder, URL, Page, and Label. The information for each module provides deeper insight than Stage 2 for their use in blended and online learning. The Creating New Learning Activities section focuses on creating new learning opportunities. The information in this section is presented in 3 guides containing PDF files describing how to author digital learning activities. The first guide, Digital Learning Development Activity Guide 1, is comprised of information and step-by-step instructions for adding blog writing tasks, choice, forum, glossary, questionnaire, wiki, and a voice recorder assignment. Participants must author 3 new activity types from this guide. The second guide, Digital Learning Development Activity Guide 2, is comprised of several new activity types in the courseware, including some to complement synchronous communication. These are chat, games, hot potatoes, database, H5P via Content Bank, Big Blue Button, Real-Time Quiz, and Level Up. Participants are required to add one of these activities to their course, excluding Big Blue Button. It's mandatory. The third guide, Digital Learning Development Activity Guide 3, is made up of several new activity types in the courseware that could generate artifacts for a learner's portfolio. These are categorized into three main folders: assignment, quiz, and workshop. Participants are expected to create one of these learning activities from this guide. The next section, utilizing interactive learning objects at Tutela.ca, H5P and SCORM, assumes all participants are registered users and builds on their previous experience with the Tutela website. This time the focus is on accessing the 400-plus SCORM activities and scores of H5P learning objects on Tutela.ca. Using step-by-step instructions, participants locate, preview, and download, and then upload an H5P and a SCORM object to their courseware. This assessment task is mandatory. The Best Practices in Settlement Language Training section asks participants to suggest one way the LINC courseware supports the best practices identified in the Best Practices for Adult ESL and LINC Programming in Alberta summary document publication. Participants must contribute to a class database to complete this task. Good luck. We hope you enjoy Stage 3.